This is a perfect example why there's accidents here. This road here turns to the right. You see that, but there's no sign that says do not turn on right. But the problem is there's 2 lanes here turning right with a bunch of cars coming from that direction. This is an easy place to have an accident. So I don't know why there's no sign. So here we are, Mel's Diner. I like it. It reminds me of places we used to go to as kids. The only thing missing when we were kids, we used to have a little like radio or, you know, songs you put a quarter in or whatever it was and play music. So I gotta say, this place is like awesome. It's got all the good old-fashioned dinners. You've got homemade turkey, ribs, cheeseburgers. So how's the soup? Yeah, good. Noah stole our soup. Looks like you need a shave, Noah. That mustache is getting a little thick. We'll have to record his first shave. We've been wanting to do it, but we've been so busy. Just haven't had time. Rick's the teacher, so when he has time. They got all kinds of things up there. Very cool. All the way around the restaurant. Up there, too. Don't we have that can that's up there? Look how cool this is at night. Mel's Diner. Well, that was an awesome dinner. We're gonna have to come out to Fort Myers again just to come here. We really liked it. Good old-fashioned food. Check it out, Mel's Diner in Fort Myers. I had to come back to the college for the 3rd time. Turns out one of Willow's books doesn't have a code that she needs. I guess the bookstore ordered the wrong books. So now college has started and she doesn't have the code. It's an online class. So I'm not sure what she's going to do. We'll have to ask the instructor. Bad news. I broke my 30-year track record of not having a cold or a flu. You probably can't tell, but I have a little bit of a cold. Not complaining because it's not horrific. So, knock on wood. I don't have any wood around here. Anybody have wood? So knock on wood. Hope it doesn't get any worse. I have no time for colds. So I hope you're all feeling okay because I've heard people from all over the country are sick. They're down for the count. So drink your water, wash your hands, stay away from sick people. You know what to do. Don't get sick. There's no time for that. Okay, off to the produce store to get some more fruit. Got a phone call from my neighbor. I'm pretty upset. He fell off the ladder and broke his shoulder and his leg and needed surgery. You know, he's older but this can happen to anybody. It just made me think more about how your life can change on a dime. It can change. It's what happened to me many years ago after a major car accident. Life was never the same for me, and it can happen, like I said, to any of us. And I think it's a good idea to have plan B and C in case something did happen to us. Like, what would you do if you couldn't work? I mean, can you live in the house that you have? Would you be able to make payments on the house you have? Of course, they're retired and, you know, they don't have to worry about that. But so it's something to think about for those of us who are working and trying to pay bills. What would you do if something were to happen to you where you couldn't work? You broke your leg, you couldn't go to work, or you can't work online, you broke your arm, something. I think it's a really good idea to have plan A, B, and C. I know we shouldn't dwell on all the bad things that can happen to us, but it's not a bad thing to plan for things to go wrong in our lives. The number one thing that usually solves a lot of problems is money. So I'm just thinking if you haven't started a savings or emergency account, I would highly, highly recommend it. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 69. I would put away a little something. I don't know. I know some of you are like, well, I can't even pay the bills I have. Then I think it's something to think about. to maybe downsizing, doing something, working more now while you can, spending less while you can. Just everyone's going to be different and they have different solutions, but definitely having extra cash, emergency cash, is really important. And of course, being near family is important because, again, what would you do if you don't have family at all around you? I know some of you don't, and I am curious, what do you do when something goes wrong? Hopefully you do have friends. Some people go to church, some people belong to other clubs, so they have some kind of friends that would come and help. It's a tricky thing for different people. Some don't have the money, and some don't have family, or some don't have either. So yeah, I'm pretty upset about it. I am the kind of person who does think about these type of things, so I've always, I don't know, it was always built into my head to think about the future and the what ifs, so I'm usually pretty prepared just for about anything, but sometimes something that you could never even possibly think of can happen. I'm going to leave it here because I want to go check on my neighbor and see if there's something I could do to help her out. Thankfully, she has kids nearby, so I'm sure they're taking care of things as well. Something like having good neighbors. They've been wonderful, wonderful people to us, and I hope I can do something to help them out. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's no fun being in the hospital and going through that at an older age like that. It's much more difficult. It's one of the reasons I didn't want Rick on the roof, you know, doing our own roof. I know 52 is not old, but when you fall off a roof, you don't bounce around like a 20-year-old or bounce back from something like a broken leg or hip or whatever. We are a little more careful than we were when we were 20, 30, and 40s. Do you have a plan A, B, and C, and D maybe? What would you do if something were to happen like that? Thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.